So the whole project opens with the title track, "The Fruitful Darkness," and in India and in yogic culture, there's a thing called sankalpa, which kind of means your intention. So whenever we start any type of project, any type of practice, it's very important for us to set our intention. So that's kind of how I look at the first song, "The Fruitful Darkness." I feel like it's kind of stating the journey that we're about to go on, you know. I could have folded, I could have turned around, you know, but I had to find my way through. I had to find my way through. You know, that's stating the journey that we're about to go on, you know. The fruitful darkness is all around us, and all these songs of this whole project are born from that sankalpa, that intention of finding my way through this like dark period, or just confusing, you know, period of my life, you know, the Saturn return, as we say. So that's how I view the first song. It's stating the intention, and it kind of also gives a hint of the main lesson, you know. It also gives a hint of the conclusion of the journey, because it's saying, you know, the dark within my dark is where I found my light. You know, the fruit became the doorway, and now it's open wide, the fruitful darkness. You know, it kind of is letting, I guess, people in a little bit on I guess, the realization or the lesson, the main lesson that I learned from the whole journey. So, yeah, it's the sankalpa, it's the intention of the journey of the fruitful darkness. So Sagittarius is the song, it's the ode, I guess, to my sun sign. You know, I'm a Sagittarius, and this whole project is really, you know, so much inspired by the stars and my study of the stars, because it's all about my Saturn return. It's about the last few years of my life where Saturn returned to its original position in my chart. You know, it happens to everybody, you know. You know, the first reading I ever had with my astrologer, one of the first things she said to me was, "Trevor, you have to do fire. You have to do fire. And you have to speak your truth. You have to speak your truth like this." So that song is kind of about me, like, continuing to learn how to do my fire, continuing to learn how to walk in my fire, how to speak my truth. You know, I'm still learning, you know, and, you know, also getting out of my way. You know, I feel like as people, you know, we're like our own worst enemies. You know, there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, this famous text of India. It says, you know, one is lifted up by the self, or one is, you know, drowned by the self. You know, and one's own self is either the friend or the enemy. You know, so it's about me, I guess my smaller self getting out of my own way, and learning how to walk in my fire, learning how to walk in my light, learning how to walk in my truth. You know, a true double seeker to find the inner teacher. You know, how it says in the song. So it's an ode to that sun sign, and kind of like the first journey, or the first step of the journey, you know, to I'm learning. This is what my Saturn return's about, and I'm learning how to walk in the fire. So Eros comes along, and Eros is you know, I'm walking this journey, we're on this journey, I guess, of the self, of finding your own truth, and it's not like particularly a pleasant or easy journey. You know, a lot of the sages and you know, people that we look up to, they say that the path is like a razor's edge. You know, and that's kind of what Eros is about. Eros is about the journey being difficult, but no matter how difficult the journey is, they can't keep away from it. Our Guruji says this is no sit-down light. You have to walk, through the darkness, It kind of plays off of one of my favorite poets that I've sung about many times in the past. Kabir is a 15th century Indian poet. And one of my favorite lines of his is, "Turned around, the arrow strikes the hunter. Only the fearless understand." So, meaning, the way I look at it is like all of our attention is always going out, 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 out. We're always looking out, out, out. Nobody's looking in. And Kabir says if you want to know the truth, you have to turn the arrows of your consciousness around, within yourself, and have them strike the hunter, and that's when you'll know the truth. So it kind of plays off that line. It's one of my favorite lines of Kabir. But yes, it's about the journey. It's about the journey not being easy. But once you get that higher taste, you cannot turn back. And I state that in the song. I give thanks for those difficulties. The dark is all around me, but I'm so glad it found me. I'm not running away anymore. I'm going to turn my arrow around and I'm going to aim it right towards my heart. And I want to find out who I am. I want to find out who we are in our deepest essence. So, yeah, the struggle of the journey, but also giving thanks for that struggle and understanding that struggle and that darkness is some of the greatest blessings of your life, So, arrows.
The dark is all around me, but I'm so glad it found me. Yeah. Over the moon and through stars, arrows come straight